Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're just going to chill, we're gonna chit chat, you're gonna get ready with me while I get ready for the day and just relax. I've got my water over here, big old water. Grab your water, grab your juice, grab your wine, whatever time you're watching this, and let's just get ready together. So I'm gonna be using just some of the stuff I have on my desk because it's a little bit of a mess. I don't even want to show you because it's a little bit embarrassing, but I'm gonna go ahead and prime my face with my e.l.f. if I can find it. My e.l.f. putty primer right here. My bun is crooked. Oh, I am a mess. I'm gonna use this e.l.f. putty primer, the matte one. Definitely a favorite. If you have not checked these out, you are sleeping. And I'm gonna need you to wake up. I'm gonna need to take these earrings out because this is not gonna work with this in there. Nope, not at all. Kind of had some things that I wanted to do like the chit chat topic on, and maybe we'll get to those, but this morning I'm just really feeling pulled to talk about like self-love and self-worth because we live in this world where it's almost competitive to like love yourself, right? Like you get online and everyone's like, love yourself this way, love yourself that way, and who loves themselves more, and the authenticity of it is almost gone, and it's so sad. It's like a big competition, and there's nothing wrong with showing that you love yourself. That's not what I'm saying whatsoever. But sometimes it's like, is this for show, or are people genuinely confident and genuinely loving themselves like they do? And then there's also that mindset, at least for me, like just especially again with the culture that we live in and how everything is so accessible, is it makes it look like people have no hard days. Like people didn't go through any kind of struggles. People who even love themselves don't have those days where they don't love themselves. And I think it's realistic that we all have those days, right? We all have those days where we struggle to see ourselves in the way that God's created us to see ourselves, and how he originally ordained us to see ourselves. This is the Juvia's Place yellow powder and Kalahari, and I'm just setting my eyes. How it's just kind of so easy to fall into the trap that you're alone when it comes to things like that. That when I say things like that, I mean like you're alone in the aspect that you are the only one who struggles with days where you don't see yourself in the greatest light. I'm going to take this Tarte Man-Eater palette. I'm wearing this bright orange. It's such a gray day outside. Oh, I've got a hanger thing going on over here. And I want something bright, obviously, just to like wake myself up, I guess. I don't even know. I think I'm going to go in with this purple shade right here and see what happens with that. Yeah, so anyways, I completely lost all train of thought. Oh, but it just seems like people don't have rough days. And honestly, I wish that we lived more so in a culture where we saw people have those days, because I think that those are more realistic than what we actually do see on social media accounts. I personally have been going through my own self-love kind of thing, and when I say self-love, I mean like loving yourself the way that you want other people to love themselves. That's what that means to me. I have days, I have a life where I encourage my friends and my family to get massages and treat themselves and take time out for themselves. Moms or not, like most of my friends are married, our moms, you know, are in some type of relationship, and I'm like, it's okay for you to have moments to yourself. It's okay for you to take time out and, you know, take a long shower or get a hotel or go to the movies or, you know, take the kids to babysitters so you have like 5 minutes. You know, like I tell them all of those things. It's okay for you to have a glass of wine. And when it comes to me, I don't do, let me rephrase that. I used to not do any of those things. And it hit me a few weeks ago, several weeks ago, by the time that you're seeing this, like that mindset, like love myself the way that I want, and I encourage all of my friends to love themselves. So if I notice that they're having a bad day, you know, they text me or whatever and say that they're having a bad day, I'm like, okay, girl, well, let's go get food, or, you know, or I'll tell them to go get food. I'll tell them to go, you know, spend some money on themselves, or, you know, just like do something. And I'm like, what is wrong with me telling myself to do the same thing? Like, right over my head, right? Like, it just, for whatever reason, it never hit me to just love myself that way. And I am definitely, like, big in the encourage space, because not only here, like, on YouTube, but also just in real life. Like, I feel like life is hard enough, and we don't need to be hating on each other. We all need to just like love on each other. I'm going to go into this berries palette, and I'm actually going to take this deep purple on the outer section of my eye, and I just, I want us to just like encourage, you know, like life is hard enough. Like there's hard enough things going on in life without beating each other down. Like I can't imagine life without people who are like, keep going, you've got this, you've made it through 100% of your hard days, you know, like that kind of thing. I couldn't imagine not having people like that in my corner. And so like I said, a few weeks ago, started to love myself that way. Like, I started writing myself love letters, and I'll light a candle and I'll put on some old school R&B, yes 90s, yes 2000s, like the good stuff, and just like write to myself and just tell myself all the things that I would tell my friends, right? And honestly, it all started, for me, I'm going to take that even like kind of bright pale pink in here, and I'm going to put that on the front half. It's kind of turning more purple actually. It started for me with I'm going to switch pinks, a course called The Ultimate Journey. And this course is, I would say, one that absolutely saved my life, because it just was a real space for me to express all the things that I wanted to express without feeling like, as a Christian, I needed to have all the right answers, or even as a Christian, that I was less of a Christian because I was still dealing with shame and guilt for things that have happened to me in my life and things that I have done in my life. And when I got done with that course, and I tell you, the freedom that I felt, I can't even express into words what I felt, because it's just something I had to just like go through. Yes, it was a lot of work. Yes, it was emotionally challenging. Yes, it brought up some old feelings and memories and all of the things. But it was probably one of the best decisions outside of becoming a Christian that I have ever done in my life. And with this course, it offered safe space. It has offered that space that I needed for things that I've even struggled telling my friends at that point because of the judgment I felt like I would have with them, like that they would have towards me. That I even struggled sometimes even telling and admitting myself. That I struggled with my family. That I just carried in this secret place that no one knew. Just kind of refreshing up the deepness in the corner that no one knew that I was carrying, but literally me and God. And even at times, I didn't even want him to know that I was carrying it because it was just so shameful, so embarrassing, so guilt-ridden that I didn't want to talk about it. I wanted to forget about it. I wanted to move on. But it was just this weight that as I continued to move on, it continued to get heavier. I'm going to go in with foundation. This just got really deep. And then I just switched it up on you. I'm going to go in with foundation. I picked up a tray, finally, from Amazon. A mixing tray because I've had to mix my foundations because they're too light. And it actually comes with the little tray. And then it also comes with a spatula so that I don't have to use the ends of my brushes anymore. Won't you will? So I'm going to go in with my Haus one today because I don't too much feel like mixing. So I just wanted... I didn't even realize how much I was carrying until I started to unpack it. Like how much shame and guilt I had just let build up. And I had gone to a therapist. I had gone to counselors and like all of that. And they were helpful. They were absolutely helpful in that season where I was at. There was nothing wrong with seeing a counselor. There's nothing wrong with having that. The Lord just said it was time for me to try this. And I had never heard of the ultimate journey before. I had never experienced the ultimate journey before. Like for me, it was definitely something new. But the more I heard it at the church that I was at, the more I heard them talk about it, the more that they continue to advertise it, the more I knew that the Lord was like, you need to take this class. You need to do it. You need to take it. Sign up. Like, let me tell you, it was almost like spam. You know, like how consistently you get the same message over and over and over again. I'm like, okay. And I drag my feet. I am not... Look, I have no problem hearing from the Lord. It is doing what he says that can be the challenge. Because I'm like, this don't make no kind of sense. I'm trying to convince myself that I'm good. I ain't got no problems. I'm good. The Sephora Best Skin Ever concealer. I'm good. I ain't got no problems. Like, what you talking about? We don't need to sign up for this. I don't know them people. If that is not such a black thing, I don't know them people. They don't need to be in my business. That will hold us back from some things. Let me tell you. That almost held me back from getting the biggest breakthrough that I ever could have had, ever, in my life. And I did it anyways, stepped out, was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. Because God is telling me to do it. I'm going to do it. And in this class, course, very small group setting, I think there were 4 of us and then the teacher. And week by week, you dove into, let me rephrase this. So there's 3 stages to it. The first one is essentially like going through your life week by week and kind of dissecting it, but not in a way that is condescending. It gives you kind of a different way to look at things. because for me, some of the things that I looked at and I had done and the way that I had looked at them were anti-Christian. And not trying to put a band-aid on sin. That's not what I'm doing. But it gave me got it all on my lip. Gave me a different perspective for where I was at and what I was trying to self-soothe in that time. And that just, whew, cool. So, yeah, week by week, kind of went through some things, and you hear other people's stories, not stories, but you hear their life, and you hear what they've been through and what they've gone through, and it broke my heart. Like I said, I'm one of those people where I like to like encourage, like, it's okay, you're gonna be all right, and like to sit there and listen and fight the urge to, because I wasn't the facilitator and I'm trying to deal and navigate my own wounds, and just hear them. It was just like, oh, it was so heartbreaking. It was challenging. And then at the end of every class, there were affirmations. And these affirmations were exactly what needed to be said and heard at the end of every class. Like, it didn't matter what we were talking about. The affirmations were exactly what was needed. It was Holy Spirit driven. Like, there's not another way to put it. Holy Spirit driven. And my facilitator had been doing it for ever, like for years. Probably one of the best. I've had 2 facilitators because I went through all 3 levels of it, and she was perfect for that season. Like, where the gentleness, you know, the loving, it was just perfect. It was absolutely perfect. And I was just really grateful. And like I said, when I finished this course, I had a whole new life. It felt like I really did. I felt just like a new person. I felt like I could tackle anything. I felt lighter. I felt more confident. It was just the best decision that God talked me into. That he could have done. Literally. I got makeup in my nose. Y'all gotta tell me. Move on to phase 2. And I actually take it from the person who wrote it. The knowledge of this man is phenomenal. Like, I can't even. What I want to do for blush. I thought I was going to do my brows, but now I think I was going to do blush, but now I've changed my mind again. The knowledge of this man, absolutely phenomenal. And it was challenging for me to take 2 and 3. I actually may go back and take them because life just shifted, and I still do struggle with depression and just trying to be at those courses and the classes with life shifting and the depression. It was rough. I did miss quite a few classes, but he still let me move on to the next level, and I was really grateful for that. Level 2 was really honing in on the fact that God's not mad at you, and that to me was also very freeing, because like I said, I struggled with being obedient in level 1 because I was like trying to hide things, and not just from me, from friends, from God, because part of me felt like he was mad, like he was mad at me. And growing up, I had heard a lot of the fire and brimstone condemnation kind of teaching, and this kind of just like broke all of that, and un momento. And it was just so freeing to know and see and have it broken down. There was this story that, I'm not going to give the details of it, but it wrecked me. Like, even thinking about it now, it wrecked me because I didn't do my homework before class. So when I went to class, it was the first time that I heard the story, which was actually in the homework book that they'd given us. And like, I was in class fighting back tears because I could not. It was the best way for anyone to have ever relayed like the love of God to me. Like, holy macaroni. Just thinking about it now, I'm like, don't cry, don't mess up your makeup, like, mm-mm. And that was the biggest thing for me, like that one story. Benefit Fluff Up Brow Wax. And I'm going to use the Benefit Precisely My Brow. Was one of the biggest hard hitters for me, period, in that class. And I was so grateful for that story. And so then, like I said, even though I had missed quite a few classes, I was able to move on to level 3. And level 3 was just essentially like partnering with God for my life, for how I saw myself, how to pray, how to just like be with him, you know? And it was beautiful. Like, it was just a beautiful way of explaining it. It was a beautiful way of opening up our hearts to experience, again, the God that's not mad at us and who he really is. It was just exactly what I needed for that time. And I missed a few classes there because life shifted again, and running a team in retail is challenging. But he let me go through the course. He let me do the homework, even if it was late. And it was great. I will probably retake those courses. But it was so good to kind of like stick my toe in and see what they were. And then all of that brings me back to the self-love thing, because I had the biggest time mending self-love and self-sacrifice. We are in this relationship with the creator of the universe, and like any relationship, I don't want to say lose, but you give up a piece of what you want for what we want, you know? And that is challenging because we are selfish human beings, right? We are human beings that only want what we want. We are human beings that want what we want, and we want it now. And there is no we when it comes to I. And so learning that self-love is not the void of God, but instead seeing myself the way that he sees me, and yet in a humble manner. And humble, that's a whole different story, but I'm going to dip into it right now. I watched Darius Daniels, and Darius Daniels is a pastor out of New Jersey. I live in Iowa, so clearly I can't go there every Sunday. And he did this sermon series about humility. And to wrap up the several weeks, one thing that he said that really stood out to me was, we consider Jesus to be the most humble person in the Bible, yet 90% of what we know about Jesus came from Jesus. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So what makes him humble like we say he is? It's the fact that he knew where the power came from. And that switched a light bulb in me. I am who I am, but I am not the source of that power. So I can walk into a room and be like, this is what I can do. This is who I am. These are the gifts that I have. But all that power and all that credit does not come from me because I'm not the one who created myself. And so I can still, again, be humble and love myself and give all the credit to the Most High. And that mending for me was another chain breaker. And it was exactly like what I needed to understand. It was exactly what I needed to grow into. And that does not mean that I don't have those bad days. Going back to what I said at the forefront of this video. That does not mean I don't have bad days. That does not mean that I have this all figured out, because I do not. That does not mean that there are still moments when I look in the mirror and I am like, why did you do that? Why would you do that? What would cause you to do that? I'm gonna take this green on the inner corner because why not, right? We're just gonna, oh, that's not bad. It's interesting. It's an interesting concoction. But instead, quite the opposite. So like when I have those bad days, it is a way for me to even invite God into those days. Like, I'm having a bad day, Lord. I don't like the way my arms look today. I don't like the way this looks today. I'm not feeling very confident. I'm not feeling very seen. I'm not feeling, whatever it is that I may be going through on that specific day. And it makes it so much better. Like, it doesn't mean that the hard goes away, but it does make it more bearable. That I can deal with. That I can handle. That I can get through, I'm looking for mascara. Here we go. The Blink mascara. So, I don't know if any of that made sense. Let me know in the comments if you followed any of that. I don't even know. But it was just like really on my heart today to talk about that. And so, I don't know, maybe this will encourage you to love yourself the way you tell other people to love themselves. Even if it's just 5 minutes every night, even if it's 10 minutes every few days, even journaling, like whatever it is. I need to now get a new journal because I feel like, well, I know that my journal is about full. The journal that I have, I got from Barnes & Noble's years ago. I think my oldest entry is from 2016 because I'm not consistent. But I like it, but I did want a different pattern. It's a leather bound notebook that ties on the side, and I really like it, but I wanted something like that with a different pattern, and finding that is impossible. So I'm probably going to end up getting the exact same thing because the ones that are out there, I'm like, what in the witchcraft? I don't got time. No. It doesn't make any lick of sense to me, and I'm not finna go there. We're not. Liner is going to be the Juvia's Place Kola Luxe Liner, Fenty Cream, and what shade is this? I don't even know. I can't see that. Oh, Fenty Glow. Yeah, on the lips. So, yeah, that's essentially what I'm going to be looking like today. I thought about putting on false lashes, but I'm not really feeling it. Not today, I'm not. I'm going to put these earrings back in. But anyways, so let me know what you guys thought of this video down below. If you have any type of healing, this is not sponsored by them. They don't even know that I'm doing this. But if you have any type of healing, shame, guilt, any of that you are carrying around, please check out that course because it is absolutely worth it. It is phenomenal. This bun is still crooked, but we're just gonna rock it today. So let me know down below if you like this video by giving it a thumbs up. I do hope that you would subscribe if you already have not done so. It really does just help my channel out. I love you guys. May God continue to bless you, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.